Yo, okay, so check this one out right here. I'm gonna do another bit. Look, this one is going for God's people, right? Okay, so I want to show you guys something. This is a fun bit, right? I like this one because I'm gonna show you what's up with the words, man. All right, so check this out. Let's just get it going, right? Ready? Here we go. Boom. So we always want to start off with the order, right? You always want to remember the order of the realm. Remember, God created the world. Check. God created man, aka the people. Check. People created states. Check. People created constitutions. Check. People created governments. Check. Question: when did government become boss of the people? All right, so let's look at this answer, right? But before we do that, I want to show you, look at Genesis chapter 1, right? Look at chapter 1, verse 1. It says right here, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, right? It said God created the heaven and the earth, right? And then if you look at number 2, it says, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters, right? Remember that? Okay, and then God said, let there be light, and there was light, all right? So God was the one that said, let there be light, and then there was light, right? You don't see anyone else in here saying, let there be light, and then there was light. All you see is the Creator, right? So the Creator said, let there be light, and boom, there was light, right? And then God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness, right? So then God separated the light from the darkness, right? And then check this out, right? Look at this. I'm just showing you how God created the world, right? And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day, right? Boom. So on day 1, God split, right? He split the night, or He split the light, and then He called the light day, and then the night dark, right? Scary simple, right? You see this right here. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night, right? So God has a lot of abilities, and God has a lot of power, because if God created the heaven and the earth, right? Boom, I got nothing to worry about, right? So why would my Creator then make me a world that was going to be all messed up, right? I don't know, but we're going to find some stuff out right here, right? Okay, so check this out. Let's have some fun, right? So we're in the maxims right now, right? And then I wanted to show, which one did I wanted to show? I wanted to show 49L, right? See, check this out. That which is against divine law is repugnant to society and is void, right? So if you go against God, if you go against God's law, right, you're no good for society. That means you're void, right? So every entity out there that goes against God's words, right, you don't fit in society, man. And then that means everything that you do is void, okay? And then remember, who are the creators of the Constitution, right? The peoples are the ones that created all the constitutions, right? And the people are God's people, right? And then they follow the divine law, right? That's just stupid simple right there. And then once God's people find out that there's other people that are going against God's law, right, they're going to make things void really, really quick, okay? Let's keep it moving. Okay, remember, check this out. Guardian right here, right? So you have guardian, then you have inheritance, then you have minor, then you have legal capacity. And then I want you to see this one right here. Look at 53C. If a guardian do fraud to his ward, he shall be removed from his guardianship, right? Like, oh my God, the guardian is supposed to be the protector, right? So the people put other entities in there called government, and they're supposed to be the guardians of the people's stuff, right? The people's business, right? And now we're starting to find out that the guardians may have been doing fraud, right? And then we show them by doing fraud, because if they went against God's rules, God's law, right, that means that you guys aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing, man. And now we're just going to show you that just in your own words, right? Scary simple service. Ready? Here we go. Check this out. Look at guard, right? We like guard because guard, see where it says right here, right? You track guard down, guard there to keep, maintain, preserve, protect, right? So if you are a guardian, you're supposed to keep, you're supposed to maintain, you're supposed to preserve, and you're supposed to protect, right? Scary simple service, right? Now we know what's up with the guardians. Okay, let's keep it moving. Moratorium, right? Moratorium, right? Look at this one right here. When you track it all the way down, right? Moratorium goes to hinder and delay, right? So if someone generates a moratorium, right, then they're trying to hinder something. They're trying to delay something. Why would you be trying to hinder something, and why would you be trying to delay something? I guess it all depends on what it is that you're actually trying to do, okay? So we're going to find out what kind of entities tried to create a moratorium, right? Okay, so check this out. Look at this, right? So we just wanted to do a search, right? And then we did DuckDuckGo, and then we wanted to see, well, you know, what kind of images pop up for moratorium, right? And look at this one. See, prevent thousands of evictions, right? What does this say? Stop evictions. So for some strange reason, housing is the cure. Evictions, right? So we see a lot with evictions, and we see housing is a cure. So we wonder if they're trying to delay evictions. And then I wonder why they're trying to delay evictions. Oh, and then you see right here it says, no job, no rent. I wonder why there's no jobs, right? I wonder what organizations have created an environment that doesn't allow people to have jobs. I don't know. Let's just keep it going. All right, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to travel through Plato's cave. And what we're going to do is that we're going to show the people things on the screen, and we're going to show them how the light affects the screen, and then we're going to hopefully try to take those people out and show them the world, man. We're going to bring them to the light, man, you know, because there's always other entities that are trying to confuse you by what they show you on the screen. All right, let's keep it going. And we're going to do this by hanging out with the grand jury, man. Look at this. Let me find one right here, right? You know, check this one out, right? So this is when you catch the grand jury fresh, right? Fresh in the morning, right? They're just like, yeah, we're ready to go. We're ready to work, right? But right now it's at 8:20 and they're probably all looking more like this right here, right? Oh my God, not again. This dude, oh, this woman right here, she's just upset. She's like, I should be home with my man right now. Oh my God, let's get this done. Okay, let's go. All right, let's get to work. Okay, here we go. So we're always going to show you what's up because we like to talk with the civil grand jury, and we like to show what the function is. And the function is to investigate the operations of the various officers, right? So the people that we put into the office called our government is what we do is that we like to look at how they operate, man. Scary simple. That's all we do. Okay. And then we always like to do that because we always like to establish who we are and where we're coming from. And we always do that before we walk with our preamble by showing we the people of the state of California, grateful to Almighty God for our freedom in order to secure and perpetuate its blessings, do establish this Constitution, right? You know, so whenever you want to know who's in charge of the government, it's the people, because the people are the ones that establish the constitutions, right? And then all of our government entities or all of our entities, they all operate within the boundaries of the Constitution, man. Scary simple service, right? Let's keep it going. Okay, so we want to show this section right here, section 9, right? You know, check this out right here. You know, so a bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts may not be passed, right? Okay, so if you have a contract, right, and then there's now one of our public servants goes into their position, and then they try to create some type of bill, right, or they try to create some type of law, right, and then they try to say, well, we want to stop that contract from going through. This is letting you know that they can't stop any contracts, right? So contracts are completely out of the realm of our public entities, man. Okay, remember that, you know. So just think about executive orders and things like that. Excuse me. Okay, let's keep it going. So what we're doing right here is we want to show the trust, right? We want to show what trust is. And then the word you focus on is be firm. So when you trust, you need to be firm. When you trust, you need to be solid. When you trust, you need to be steadfast, right? That's it, man. That's it. So that's what you know. And now that you know that every constitution is a trust, right? You know, and every constitution has to be firm. Every constitution has to be solid. Every constitution, the people in it need to act steadfast, man. And that's it, right? You know, if they don't do that and then they betray the trust, that means that they're operating in a different jurisdiction, right? And we're going to show you what's up with that, right? So we like to look for maladministration, right? So when we hang out with the grand jury, we like to look for maladministration, right? So every time we look for it, we're looking for faulty or improper management of affairs of the people, right? So when we put our political people in office, they better be managing our affairs correctly, right? If they don't, we call that maladministration. And then once we have a bad administrator, a bad small master, we got to move you guys into a different place, man. All right, let's check this out, right? So we always look for treason, right? And we like to look for treason because we want to see who's delivering the trust of the people, who's handing over the trust of the people, right? Who's breaching the faith of the trust of the people. Someone is doing that. And then when we look for that, we call that treason, right? We call that action treason, right? And that's just not cool, man. All right, so let's keep it going. We always like to look for war, right? And then when we look for war, we look for this nice little subtle war, right? So if any entity that is in office tries to confuse you and it tries to mix you up, they are waging war on you, man. Scary simple service. An example of that will be called every time one of our public administrators gets up there, or public servants gets up there, and they talk on the screen and they say, "Our democracy, blah, blah, blah. Our democracy, blah, blah, blah." They are causing confusion. They're mixing up what our republic is, right? Because in America, we have a republic, man. That's what we wrote in our constitutions. Every state is guaranteed a Republican form of government, man. If you don't believe me, go read the constitutions and we'll show you what's up. All right, let's keep it going. Executive, right? We want to look at the executive because the executive is the one that's supposed to follow after. They're supposed to be the one that carries out. They're supposed to be the one that accomplishes the things, right? So we have an executive branch, right? And then that executive branch is headed by the president, right? And the president is supposed to make sure that all the rules are followed, right? They have to make sure that all the rules within the Constitution are carried out, right? They have to make sure that everything in the Constitution is accomplished, right? And if they don't do that, we call that treason, okay? Right, so if you betray the trust of the people and you don't execute the laws within the Constitution, right, because you're not following them, we call that treason, man, and we're going to find it now. We're going to find it because we have the screens to show us what's up, okay? Check this out. We always want to look at the order, right? We want to see how things are fit together, right? And if they're not put in a row, right, and they don't fit together, then that means they're all out of order, right? That means that you're affecting something in a not good way. That means that you're not executing what you're supposed to be doing, right? That means that you may be not acting on the trust that we, the people, have given you, because you might be a bad administrator, and then you might be committing treason because you might be delivering or handing over the trust of the people to something else, man. Okay, so let's keep it going. So one of the things that we like to look at is like, oh my God, look at the fuel prices, right? Why are the fuel prices so expensive? Look at this in California right here, and today 82022, right? The fuel prices in California, according to the AAA, is $5.32, right? That's a lot of money, right? And then in the national average is $3.90, right? So why is the gas so expensive, right? Why is it that in this area right here that we call California, where we elect people that are supposed to make sure that the people are safe and happy, right? This doesn't make me happy, right? This doesn't make me feel safe, right? Because I shouldn't be having to go to the pump and having to pay this much just to make sure that my carriage can get on the road and roll places, man, right? So this is causing me stress, right? Which means I'm not happy, right? And then all my public servants are supposed to make sure that the people are happy. And when you don't do that, we call that treason. That means that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, which means that you're not doing your job, which means that you are maybe in maladministration. And we wonder if you're betraying the trust of the people, right? So I'm going to show you an example of what betraying the trust of the people may look like, right? So if you look at this right here, it says a judge blocks the president's moratorium on federal oil and gas leasing, right? So remember what a moratorium is. So someone who was put in a political position, right, put together something that tried to block oil. They tried to block gas, right? Why did they try to block oil and why did they try to block gas, right? I don't know, but let's look at what they did actually, right? So what did they say? So there was a court, right? So there was a federal court on Thursday evening. They blocked a moratorium on federal gas and oil leasing in 13 states that sued over the executive order oh, okay, so we have an executive order. What was this executive order, right? Can we find it? Because we already looked for it, right? The court finds, yeah, okay, so here we go. So the court right here finds executive order 14008, section 20A, right? Ultra vires beyond the authority of the President of the United States, right? So they've gone beyond the authority of the President of the United States. So the President tried to block oil. The President tried to block gas from the people, right? And now, because of this, there's a high price for that, right? And I'm not happy because of this, right? And I know that there's other people that aren't happy because of this. So what we call that is maladministration. Now, so we need to look at what this executive order was that blocked the oil. How did they block the oil and how did they block the gas, right? What did they do, right? So we go over here and we did a Google search and then we found the Federal Register and then we found this executive order and then we looked at section 208, right? Here goes section 208 right here. And then we're just going to read a couple of the lines in here just to show you what's up, man, because they block the people so cold because they do it in these orders where they try to act like they're trying to help the people, man. But look, check this out, right? Section 208, oil and natural gas development in public lands and in offshore waters, okay? To the extent consistent with applicable law, the Secretary of the Interior shall pause new oil and natural gas leases on public lands or in offshore waters pending completion of a comprehensive review and reconsideration of federal oil and gas permitting and leasing practices in light of the Secretary of the Interior's broad stewardship responsibilities over the public lands and in offshore waters, including potential climate and other impacts associated with oil, gas activities, or public lands or in offshore waters, right? So what they did was they paused all oil and they paused all gas leases in the public lands, right? And what that did was that they caused the gas prices to shoot up, right? The fuel prices shot up, right? Because what they were doing right here, right? We'll scroll to the top, right? So what they were doing right here is that they were trying to tackle the climate crisis at home and abroad, right? So the public servants tried to tackle the climate crisis at home and abroad, right? So they tried to administer God's kingdom, right? They tried to deal with the climate, and then the only one that has power with the climate is God, man. So I don't know how these entities right here try to administer God's kingdom, right? How are they trying to control the climate, right? What are they trying to do about that? Because you have no power, you have no authority to do that, right? But what you did do is that you caused pain at home, right? You caused pain at home because you went and you did this, right? Let's show you one more time, right? This is fun, right? So what you did was you paused new oil and natural gas leases on public lands, right? So because of you trying to protect the environment, you cause the people to feel pain at the pump now, man. And I know there's a lot of people that aren't happy about that, right? And what we call that is an example of maladministration. That is also an example of treason, right? That is also an example of war, right? So you have perfect examples right here that you can go at and you can read them online and you can see how our public servants are bringing maladministration to the people. They're bringing treason to the people. They're bringing war to the people, right? So they're causing confusion. They're betraying the trust, right? And they're being bad small masters, man. Scary simple service, right? So check this out. I also downloaded that, because I was just like, I wanted to have it so then that way I can read this, because now once you read this, you see how they use the words, right? They use the words to cause confusion, right? Because they say that they're going to do an inspection, right? They're going to be right here. See, look at this, a comprehensive review. They're going to do a comprehensive review. How long is that review going to take, right? How long is it going to take, right? We don't know, right? But as long as it takes is how long as it takes. And until then, they paused all of the oil and all of the gas, man. And that's why the gas prices are so high right now, right? Scary simple service, right? So check this out. They're affecting the behavior, right? They mean to control the behavior of the people, right? So this is what behavior is, right? It is the response of the system or organism to various stimuli or outputs, right? So People's behavior was affected because someone paused the people's ability to get oil and get gas, man, right? And then that's what you call treason. That's what you call maladministration. That's what you call war, right? Because if you're trying to affect the inputs and the stimuli of the organisms, also called the people or the systems, right? If you're trying to affect us and make us act and behave in a different way, that means that you're not doing your job, man. And now we have examples of that, right? Because you wrote it down in your own words, right? We have the executive order that shows your actions, right? Because you were not executing the law of the land. You caused this right here, right? You tried to pause and delay oil. You tried to pause and delay the gas, right? And because you did that, you caused this right here. You caused the gas prices to shoot up, right? Shoot up all over the world, all over the nation. And because of that, you brought pain to the people and you made the people unhappy, man. And that's why we call it treason and maladministration, man. All right. So basically we're done with that bit, right? We're totally done with that. And then we would just want to close it out with the word, man. Remember, men and women, no man can serve two masters. You have to remember that, right? You always have to choose, right? You either serve God or you serve Mammon, right? So now our public servants, they have to choose. They have to serve the people or they serve someone else, right? And we find out now because we ask them, who do you serve? Do you serve we the people or do you serve someone else, right? Because you cannot choose or you cannot serve two masters, okay, public servants? Remember that. Those are the rules, right? Okay, check this out. So we wanted to show you this right here too, right? So look at 28 right here. This is Genesis, verse 28. It says right here, and God blessed them, right? And then when you want to know who them is, that's called man. And when you know who man is, that's called male, female, right? So man is men and women, male and female. That's who God blessed, right? So God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. That means multiply. That means have a bunch of babies, right? That's what that means. Replenish the earth, right? You must replenish the earth at all levels, right? Including yourself, okay? And you must subdue it, right? You must control it, right? You must control the earth and you must administer the earth because that's what God said to do. God said, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth, right? So this is telling you right here that no government entity can come in here and they cannot write rules and they cannot write regulations that say that man, woman, child does no longer has dominion over the air and the water and the land, right? Or the land, the air, and the water, right? Because man has dominion over the land and the air and the water because that's what God said, right? So if you feel that you have the authority to take that away from us, please show us, right? Please show us where you got that authority from, man. And that's all we do, right? And the reason why we do that is because, look, check this out. Psalm 82:6, I have said, ye are gods, little g, right? So big G said you are little g, and all of you are children of the Most High, right? So every man and every woman and every child is a child of the Most High, and you are a little g because big G made you in the image of big G, right? And then that's just it, right? Because every man and every woman and every child is a vessel of God, right? And then God dwells within. Right? The Spirit dwells within, and you must walk around and you must show God a good time, man. And then the only reason why you can do that is if you're a good guardian. That's it. That's it, right? So I'm done with this bit, man. So I'm pretty sure now you know what's up, and now you know how they tried to delay the oil, how they tried to delay the gas, and because they did that, it caused an increase in the price. And then they did that by writing an executive order, and then they made a bunch of words to try to figure some stuff out because they tried to act like they were going to help the world, man. But they didn't. They caused pain at the pump. All right. So I'm done. So let's go ahead and close this out, man. Remember the order. God created the world. Check. God created man, aka the people. Check. People created states. Check. People created constitutions. Check. People created governments. Check. Question. When did government become boss of the people? Answer. Never. The people are the bosses of all governments because that's what God said, man, because we're little g, right? Big G told us that we have dominion. Big G said it, we're the guardians of this realm, right? You know, and then now little G has to go and tell the public servants what's up. And this is what we're doing right now, is because we're just showing you how the game works, man. Scary simple service. All right, well, you know, I'm done. I'm gonna go have a good time. I'm gonna chill, you know, watch some screen time, and then just have some fun. I'll talk to you guys in the future. Remember, nobody's having more fun than us. Bye.